Hello everyone, it's Jeff. Hope everybody had a happy and healthy Thanksgiving over their long Thanksgiving weekend. Um, I did not, unlike everybody who's been posting videos, of which I'm way behind in catching up on, I did not go to Record Store Day because A, I was working. I worked Thanksgiving too, but that's okay. The double time and a half pay more than made up for it, so I'll take that in trade. Um, but yeah, I had to work Friday, and as I said in earlier videos, there's really no record store near me that's convenient, that's close. I think the closest one is probably 30 to 45 minutes away, and it's not a destination store really. It's not a place that I really even go to anymore. Maybe once a year, twice a year, just to see if there's anything there. But and there's really wasn't a lot that looked too interesting to me. I looked a lot online to see what was out there, and it really the only thing that I would have wanted and that I hope to get in the future is Harvest Moon on vinyl. That was the album that I saw Neil in concert for, and it was it was fantastic. I still remember it to this day. It was just Neil by himself, sitting on the stage in a chair with a circle of guitars around him, and he would pick up one guitar, play a song, put that guitar down, pick up another one, play a song, and it was great. It was all acoustic solo Neil. Fantastic show. Um, Actually, besides Harvest Moon, I hope someday that the live release of that tour called Dreamin' Man, which was released on vinyl, I think not in North America. I think it was in Europe, but it's super hard to find and super expensive. But I'm hoping Harvest Moon gets a wider release, and when it does, I'll probably pick it up. I have the CD. I've had the CD for 25 years now, so I thoroughly know the music, and it's great. Uh, in the meantime, between my last video and this one, I've done a lot of music listening, so I'm going to jump right to it. Over the weekend, I showed this in my last video, kind of went in an 80s synth pop direction. This was that Yaz album that I showed you. And it turns out there was more songs on here that I recognized than I thought. So this is my wife's, one of her all-time favorite albums, which is why I bought it. So it's very of its time. I mean, it's all synths and electronic drums, but Alison Moyet's voice is a powerhouse, and it gives the colder music a more warm human touch. So this was a good listen. I really like this one. It's kind of sort of in that same 80s synth direction was Tears for Fears. This was one of those albums, I knew all the hits, and the songs that I didn't know on this album were almost just as good. This was an album that I meant to pick up in '85 when it came out, but I never did. I either didn't have the money or something else took up my attention. But this is just the back cover. Just shows the songs. There's really nothing there. But I like Tears for Fears, so this was another pretty much no-brainer for me to put in my collection. This next album, I had a much more, not difficult time listening to, but it was more something that I really had to pay more attention to. It's a 2-record set by John Coltrane. There's the back. It's a reissue. It was released on Prestige Records, and the 2 records, it's a 2-record set, and it reprints Training In and Soul Train, if I got that right. Yes. And These were, I think these were released like in the late 50s. And this was, like I said before, I'm trying to become more conversant in the jazz realm. And with Miles Davis, I seem to be having a lot easier time digesting his music, even though it's kind of out there too. But this stuff with Coltrane, it's basically, it was good. I liked it. I can't really explain why. I'm not enough of a jazz guy yet to tell you why I like this music, but I do. It's still not something that I would reach for in a regular way. Like I said, I'm taking baby steps here and just dipping my toe in the water of jazz. So, while I liked it, it seemed, and I don't mean to offend anyone. I like Coltrane. I understand his importance in the jazz realm, but I think I probably listened to this album wrong. I listened to both of these records back to back one morning. Actually, it was Monday morning, I think. And I probably shouldn't have done it that way. I probably should have listened to one, taken a break, maybe listened to the other one the next day, or listened to something else in between. But listening to both of these albums back to back, the music, I can't lie to you, it got a little repetitive. It was basically everyone taking their solo. You know, you get the main riff of the song, then the piano guy would play piano for a couple minutes. Coltrane would play sax for a couple minutes. The bass guy and the drummer would all take their solos. And every song was like that, whether it was a 15-minute suite or a 3 or 4 minute song, and it got repetitive. That's all. And I know I'm probably a heathen and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but as a total jazz novice, that's kind of the way it came off. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm probably completely wrong, but my impressions were that it got a little repetitive. So I probably shouldn't take it in such large doses. I should probably focus in on a song or a side and just listen to it and just mix it in more with things that I regularly listen to. I have another Coltrane album. It had My Favorite Things on one side, and it had a song called, I think, Selflessness on the other side. And I listened to that a little while ago. I like that a lot better. This stuff, it was good, but it wouldn't be stuff that I would reach for as often as I would, say, like Miles Davis, to which I will talk about him a little bit later. A complete 180 from John Coltrane was Billy Crystal. Listen to this, and it's a comedy album, so I think comedy albums are just a bygone thing. I don't know if anyone even makes comedy albums anymore. But it was funny. I remember a lot of these comedy bits from the 80s, and it made me smile. So it was kind of a nice breather after listening to all the serious jazz music. It kind of flushed my brain clean for something else. And finally, from the David Bowie set, which I showed in an earlier video, I listened to this. It's his live album from Nassau Coliseum in '76 on his Station to Station tour. It's a double album. There's the songs, and of course a gatefold. Let me show you the gatefold here. In the realm of live Bowie albums, this is one of the better ones. This is probably up near the top of the heap, I would say. I've got a lot of live Bowie, and in this set, he seemed like he was having probably the most fun. He seemed a lot more energetic and a lot more into it and having more of a good time at this show than he has on other albums of his that were live. This was also the only other album in that Who Can I Be Now set that I didn't previously own or listen to, so this is one that I've been wanting to get to for a while. And like I said, double albums take up a little more time than your average record, but this was a very pleasant listen. Good stuff. And as you can see behind me, I spent all morning listening to the Icky Thump re-release from Jack White's Third Man Records. You see it sitting there on top of the receiver. I did a whole video on that, so I'll just let you refer back to that if you're interested in seeing what that whole package looks like. I'm doing some advanced cooking this week for days when I have to work. So I spent this morning with that album very, very loud while I was doing the cooking. I've been testing my new equipment here with volume, seeing exactly how far it'll go and how good it sounds. And so far, I'm really quite pleased with the whole setup. Let me take a drink of water here. On the new acquisition side, speaking of Miles Davis, I picked up this album here. Let me take it out of the sleeve so it won't be quite so shiny. Sorcerer is the name of this album. Here's the back. Nothing too exciting. But I bought this because this is the December record of the month for the Vinyl Me Please record club, I guess you'd call it. And I was able to find this, which is actually, it's an original 2-eye Columbia pressing, near mint condition on eBay for cheaper than it would have cost for me to join the Vinyl Me Please service again. I was very briefly a member of Vinyl Me Please back in early 2016. I tried it out for 3 months, and the record that I originally wanted was by Big Bill Broonzy, and that was the reason why I tried like a 3-month plan, just for shits and giggles to see what would come up and let the other 2 records be a surprise. And I wasn't really thrilled with the other 2 records. In fact, the last one was the one I traded to Brendan from My Friend Morrissey. It was the Fugees record, The Score, and I'm not really into hip-hop at all. So I still would get emails from them because I was on their list, and I would just keep an eye on records that they were releasing, and I saw that this was going to be their December record. So instead of rejoining the club and only doing it for 1 month, I saved myself a hassle, and I went on eBay and I found this. It's honestly a near mint copy. I've looked at this under bright light very closely. It's in very good shape. I mean, I haven't played it yet. You know, sometimes looks can be deceiving, but I don't think it'll be the case for this one. And this is, there's a little cut. There's a little cut mark here on the cover. You can see there's like a chip missing. But I don't really care about that. What I care about most is the record, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm not... for those who've heard of Vinyl Me Please and who enjoy it, more power to you. You know, no problem with that there. It's just not for me. The variety was just too erratic, and a lot of it didn't match with things that I would want to own. So I just took a shortcut and bought this for myself on eBay. And I'm sure this is going to be a great record because I'm just able to get into this music by Miles Davis a lot easier than I am with Coltrane. I don't know why. Somebody could probably explain it to me. I'm not sure, but I've got probably 5 or 6 Miles Davis albums now. This, you know, including this one, and all of them I could easily pick up and listen to and enjoy much easier than anybody else that I've tried so far. I still have a few other jazz albums in my rolling record crate, which serves as a staging area for records that I've bought but haven't listened to yet. So not all hope is lost, but yeah. I was happy to get this one. It was one I probably would have tracked down sooner or later anyway. So this was the only new acquisition that I've got since my last video. And there you have it. I've got tons of videos to watch from people. I've been getting notices almost every day this week. So I will be watching and commenting on those as time permits. Thank you for watching this video and liking, commenting on it, and subscribing. And I will be back soon. I've been listening to music every day, and a lot of what I've been hearing I've really been enjoying. And really, it's not my purpose to say bad things about what I listen to either, because I try to stay as positive as I can, and there's no point in owning records that you think suck or you don't like. So that's why you'll pretty much only hear me say positive things, except like in this case with the Coltrane, and it wasn't really negative. I'm blaming it more on my own deficiencies as a jazz listener than anything on the music. So that's pretty much my comment on that. So take care, everyone. I'll see you soon.